Hey everybody, welcome to G for G here on YouTube. Today we're back in Marvel Future Fight again because Netmarble's doubling down on the bullshit. Absolutely unreal what they're doing. Well, okay, interesting. We have some new outfits. We've got a new one for Inferno. I kind of was not expecting this. This is interesting. And a new Coulson, I guess. Apply to all allies, 10% increase of all defenses. Yeah, you know, I'd say that's worth it. But we're not spending money on Netmarble. We're not spending our crystals and everything like that. And, you know, it's kind of a shame because how neat would that be to have a badass fucking uniform for Coulson over here that increases defenses along with the other bonuses he gives, the necessary boost that he gives. But, oh look, it's 750 crystals, of which I don't have right now. And we're not buying crystals because Netmarble could go take a flying leap off of a very short pier into a pile of rubber dicks that actually have razors installed in them. So rubber razor dicks. Have fun. Yeah, so Latina lesbian American Chavez over here. She's one of the new characters that is involved in Netmarble's bullshit that's going on over here. So the last video that I did on this basically exposed the fact that they're using loot boxes here in Marvel Future Fight. And to kind of sum up what I said in that video, I said basically, how fucking stupid are you? I mean, loot boxes in a game that has never had them before in this day and age is really bad. But what has happened with EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2, loot boxes are cancer right now. They have been declared as raw, hot AIDS cancer when it comes to the gaming community, and there is such an uproar against it right now thanks to Star Wars' Battlefront 2 from EA and Disney. To have it here, I mean, it's like your mom says, don't touch the stove, it's hot. You came close and you're like, oh yeah, wow, that stove is really hot. But then 2 seconds later, you're like, you know what? I'm touching that stove. That's what Netmarble is doing with these loot boxes right now. And I cannot believe their timing of this. It is so ridiculous that even if they had this plan, okay? Even if this was planned before the Star Wars stuff happened, and then the Star Wars stuff happened, I'm like, oh well, you know, that's the plan. How is there no genius in Netmarble that says, oh, look, EA not to do so good with this. Maybe we should push this out. Like, how is there nobody who just said this is a really bad idea right now? Well, now Netmarble is doubling down on the bullshit, like I said. So here's what they're doing. I'm going to go to my mailbox. I'm going to go to Notice. And we're going to have that. Somewhere in here, I'm supposed to have like a bucket of crystals. I don't think I've claimed them already. Oh, there they are. There they are. There it is. It's actually 1750, I believe. But there's a little bit more there. Because stuff and things. May as well get that. Not only has an hour left. 5 days, 3 days, 1 day. May as well get that. Okay, so they're giving you crystals, and they're basically, they're treating us like a drug dealer, okay? Right now, Netmarble has become crack dealers, okay? They've come into your neighborhood, and they said, okay, we have crack. And the neighborhood said, we don't want your fucking crack in the neighborhood. We know that it was just on the news as killing 100 people with tainted crack. Get your crack out of the neighborhood. And I'm like, well, we'll give you some crack for free. And that's always what happens. I mean, think about any historical reference to drug dealers in movies or books or media. They're always portrayed as giving you the first couple things free, and then when you're hooked, they're like, okay, it's now about $100 an ounce. And you're forced into paying for it because you're hooked on the crack. Well, they're trying to hook you in so many different ways. There's the obvious ways that they're giving you the crystal, but there's subtle ways. Look at the event quest. The event quest is forcing you to go into the new stages. Probably because they're like, oh, listen, what's going to happen is we're going to pull you into those new stages, and you're going to get really involved in them. And you're going to be like, hey, okay, you know, this shit isn't so bad. And I'm farming some Latina lesbian. And that's pretty cool. And alright, so I'm getting alright, I'm buying into this new chapter stuff over here. Maybe this isn't so bad. Now they've subtly grabbed you in this. So the crystals are the direct grab that you have to be literally Helen Keller to not see this coming in any way, shape, or form. But now they're trying to subtly push you out the door into the new stuff. Now, I admit, last night, I was like, okay, I need to see how bad this crap is going to be. And I did happen to pick up that new Ultimate Hero chest. Now, there's been some patch notes that have said, like, oh, you know, if you buy it, it's gonna have this higher chance of getting you this 6-star character and blah blah blah. But now 2 different times they've gone and changed what is in the boxes. So now they're saying like other characters can drop in there, and now it's, you know, I mean, look at this. How would you like to be forced into not only paywall, but randomization and the chance of getting shit you already have? Like, alright, going down the list right now, 6-6, tier 2, 6-6, 6-6, 6-6, definitely 6 stars, maybe 6 mastery, tier 2, crap, recently tier 2'd, 6-6, 6-6, at least level 60 and 6 stars. Don't know about the mastery. 6-6, tier 2, tier 2, tier 2 on Ulik, garbage, Damon, 6-6, I mean, Ancient 1, 6-6, tier 2, Baron Mordo, 6-6, Kale, 6-6, or T2, Speed Wong over here, 6-6, 60, Songbird, T2, Sharon, I mean, really? Sharon Rogers? Like, Sharon Rogers is the one that everybody tells you when you install the game, you do your level best to get this chick, and you get her uniform, and you win the game. Silk, tier 2. Elsa, tier 2. Warwolf, tier 2. Phil Coulson, tier 2. I mean, I would be so upset if I spent this really chunky amount of 1750 crystals, and, you know, especially with their free crystals that they just gave me, and then got a pile of bullshit, and, you know, I'm like, oh wow, hey, Marvel Contest of Champions, you have literally portaled your way through Marvel Future Fight right into Contest of Champions if you did not get somebody brand new in this box at any point in time. I mean, this needed to be the new characters and the new characters only, and it actually needs to not be in the game. It needs to not be in the game. You've got to get on the Play Store. You've got to give them 1-star ratings. You've got to tell them over there. I've been trying to start the hashtag not in my game. I really encourage people to use either the existing boycott one or pick up not in my game. Take the crystals in your mail and throw them up into your counter up there, and don't touch it. Even if you bought a box, don't buy another box. If you haven't bought a box, don't do it. Please, please wait and let your non-expenditures tell them exactly what to do over here. And don't renew your bio subs, don't renew your crystals, don't spend a dime on them, and let them feel it in the wallet. Like, you have no idea how powerful gamers have become in recent years. I mean, starting back at Gamergate and everything like that, it used to be gamers had a power within their own game. Now powers are getting global mass media recognition. That when New York Times and Forbes and Wall Street is talking about the power that we have to affect a company, and what happened to EA with Star Wars Battlefront 2, and the fact that they took a $3 billion hit, even if they were up from last year at the same time, taking a $3 billion hit says something. And the same thing needs to be said to Netmarble. Now, granted, it is a little bit more forgivable in a free-to-play game than a goddamn AAA $60 game, plus adding non-cosmetic pay-to-win loot boxes on top of it. It needs to be said about this game too. And this is not Hearthstone. This is not a card game where cards has always given you the randomization. Or, you know, Magic the Gathering where you have a gold and you got 2 silvers and the rest are commons. And, you know, this is not baseball trading cards where the randomization is inherent in the system and that's always what it's about. This is a game that has its paywalls in place. We've been generally okay with for a while. We will not stand for these loot boxes. Now, I admit, I pulled, well, no, okay, so my bio sub got me Latina Lesbian over here. That's how she exists. She basically got like 2 days worth of my bio sub or whatever. And that's how I unlocked her. I had already had my bio sub before this went down. However, though, I did get one of the boxes, and I did pull in, I don't even know what to call this guy. He looks like a tuning fork. But yeah, so I did happen to snag Anti-Man, and I think I have a really... yeah, there he is. A really cheap-ass 3-star Nova over here. And it's a shame because people legitimately like Nova, and they very much want Nova in the game. I mean, he was good at Marvel Heroes. He showed up in Marvel Avengers Alliance, and there was an uproar that it was Kid Nova, not Big Nova. I never really thought that highly of Blue Marvel in Marvel Avengers Alliance. Yeah, he was okay. People thought he was kind of hot shit. And he was just, I'm not saying he hit like a pussy, but he, you know, I mean, it wasn't a feather tap, but he required a lot of work up to hit really strange. Now, Quasar, admittedly, I really know nothing about, but people are legit excited for Nova, and this is crapping all over that. This is like, oh man, what a beautiful day for me to go outside and do this thing that I really want to do. Oh look, it's not just raining, it's literally raining shit. Like, I walked out the door and my car was covered in poo, and my face is now covered in aerial raining shit from the clouds. That is what this loot box controversy has done to a release that I think a lot of people would be thrilled about. They'd be like, oh wow, no native T2s. I could build stuff up slow again. I could kind of build these guys on the side while I'm still working on some X-Men. Like, alright, you know, I'm working on Cable right now. I just did Mantis. Maybe I'll T2 and Mythic Hulk for that CDP of Omnipotent the Chariot Goblet Chalice thing. But it's really nice to have kind of gotten these characters if there was maybe a paywall and then just regular characters along the way, or god, even a shifter. Anything in this game that they've done before would be way easier to swallow than what they've done. So again, I encourage you guys, take the crystals out of the mail, lift up your mattress, shove those crystals under there, and let them rot until they finally do something that's worth your crystals. Because right now, you need to speak to Netmarble and not spend money and not spend those crystals and just basically tell them to go fuck themselves. So, that's it for me on this one, guys. Nothing super new over here. It's just kind of more of the same, but they're really trying to double down on getting you involved in the new stuff over here with this event quest, subtly pulling you in, and the crystals trying to basically overtly get you pulled in. And you know what? If you pulled a character, fine. Work the characters that you pulled and then don't get another clump. I don't even know that they're going to be that good that this uproar is actually worth them over here. I mean, look what's come before them. We have the X-Men we're working on. We have the Thor Ragnarok characters we're working on. Maybe these guys really even aren't that good and won't take over a spot. And yeah, what a time to get you to spend crystals by giving you a discount on a Coulson that they probably know damn well is very beneficial to teams he can go on. I'm like, well, we'll make him even more beneficial. We'll give him a team buff. You know, you're already using basically as a buff stick. Let's have him be more of a buff stick. Spend money. Spend some of that crack money we gave you. Get hooked. Shove that thing up your nose and inhale. Yeah, well, no. Not this week. 2 weeks ago, I would have been all over that uniform. Not really the Inferno one, but a Coulson one, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, sure. Now, This is something that I would actually spend crystals on if it wasn't for what they were doing right now. So sorry, Coulson. No cool-ass Ghost Rider leather jacket for you. Peace out, folks.